Hello and welcome to Maths with Jacob. This lesson will focus on introducing percentages. Percentages. The reason I have decided to introduce percentages at this stage is because they have a very close connection to decimals and fractions. What is a percentage? A percentage is a number which gives us an amount that is part of 100. So it's something which is out of 100. It's a smaller number, but it is really a fraction of 100. So in simple terms, percent means out of 100 or per 100. A very simple way to understand this idea is by using a chart with 100 small squares. So here's a chart which is 10 squares that way and 10 squares this way. So altogether there are 100 squares and they're all the same size. Now let's see how we can use this chart on the next slide to gain a greater understanding of percentages. Let's look at the first example. Here is a chart and you have 10 by 10, so there are 100 small squares. So in the above, the large square has been divided into 100 smaller squares. We can see that 30 of these squares have been shaded. In other words, 10, 20, 30. That is, 30 out of 100 squares have been shaded. Since the number is out of 100, we say that 30% of the square is shaded. Remember, 30 per 100. 30%. That's what it means. Example 2. Let's look at this square. We have 10 little squares that way and 10 squares this way. Let's see how many are shaded. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. 61, 62, 63, 64. In other words, 64 out of 100 are shaded, which is 64% of this square is shaded. Example 3. What percentage of the above square is shaded? Again, it is a 10 by 10 square. Let's do some counting. We'll count the columns. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79. So the answer is 79 out of 100 are shaded, which means that can be written as 79%, which is 79 per 100. Example 4. What percentage of the above square is shaded? Again, it's a 10 by 10 square. Let's see how much is shaded. 10, 20, 30, 40, so they're the columns. And here's the extra column, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47. So that is 47 out of 100. And as we saw in the previous example, that is 47%. Because 47 out of 100 is 47%. Of course, percent means per 100. So this video has given us a very basic introduction into the idea of percentages, and our introduction has centered around a large square which is equally divided into 100 smaller squares, and that allows us to get the idea of percentage or per 100.